All right, guys, welcome. Kind of just experimenting a little bit here. I wrote a plugin over the last couple of days that's been very helpful for my workflow, and I am going to see about demoing it a little bit. Noticing I'm having some camera difficulties, so I may have to disable that, but let me try one more time. Yeah, we'll see if it continues working. All right, so this is a workflow that I have been working on for a while here, mainly with the intent of creating a couple of different ways of sorry about that. A couple different ways of illustrating visualizations inside Comfy as using Stable Diffusion. A couple different models, both the XD models as well as the standard 1.5. I have a flow for animate diff that's kind of nice for working with the imagery as well as Stable Diffusion video. So for the purposes of right now, I have disabled pretty much all the post-processing, upscaling, and anything else I want to do, because I want to kind of like highlight a little bit of a plugin that I've written here. And it's basically a connection to Code GPT and its API, which allows me to build an agent, train it up to code the way I want to code, to prompt the way I want to prompt, in this case for Stable Diffusion. And yeah, it's kind of a nice way to be lazy and and produce some really awesome looking images. So before I get too much into how that's developed, let's go ahead and kind of start the playground here. All right, so initially I'm going to go ahead and disable the Code GPT just because I don't want to run it for this initial test, and go ahead and start it here. But I'm going to do a simple prompt, cabin in the woods, nothing too crazy, nothing too descriptive, pretty simple. You can already see the images are coming up here. So we have the simple text to image, and I have some control net flows that are going on down here, but for the most part I'm not passing any real images to them. I'm just basically saying let the control nets work. Gives me a few different seed variations in play here. Not a bad image, nothing too wrong with it. It's not anything really special. There's definitely seems to be a strange thing going on here with the chimney, kind of fuzzy trees. It doesn't really look that great. It looks okay. It's fine. A little bit better here, a little bit more cartoony, and then again, blurry, not really great trees. So let's just see what happens when I enable a little bit of assistance. Obviously, it takes a few minutes for it to run to the GPT. Overall, the latency is not terrible, but it's not the fastest. I think in this case it works, because especially once you've created a prompt, if you decide that you want to continue to modify, it's not that hard to do. One great thing as well about Comfy is that unless you're changing a parameter in a pipeline, the end of the pipeline can be modified and adjusted and tuned without having to rerun everything. All right, so we're starting to get some more images here, or the first images. All right, so the first thing I'll kind of note is that this is definitely more stylistically applied. There's even with the simple text to image, no LoRa's or anything fancy applied, just using kind of straight up SDXL. But yeah, definitely feels better. This one here by far is a much better image than what the previous one was, just kind of pulling that for reference. Again, more, it just looks better. It's almost hard to completely qualify everything about it that I like. And this final one, that's an intriguing cabin in the woods. Compare it to the previous version. Yeah, I think overall AI has definitely helped me to improve the flow here. So just to kind of give a little bit of insight into what's going on here. I have things locked. All right, so essentially, once I send my prompt, whatever keywords I put into it, I can be as descriptive or not descriptive as I want to. But the GPT agent here, I'm sorry, not GPT agent, the Code GPT agent has been trained on various techniques about best prompting techniques, what to use, how to call things out, and even given references to negative prompting. So it does not the best job here. I actually may need to tune this. Sometimes it does a better job of actually kind of putting negative prompts as like, in this case, maybe no winter, no snow. Let me actually try to give it a little bit more descriptor and see how it works here. Let's just say a winter cabin. I'm giving it a little bit more of an opinion because in this initial case, I wasn't trying to emphasize anything. Let's see what it does with that. Oh, had a feeling I was going to have that happen. So the agent I'm working with right now is pretty much beta. But sometimes we do have a little bit of usage errors. I'm working on the error checking on that. But at the end of the day, I don't know if you're using any other platform out there. OpenAI is definitely not a kind of a stranger to the idea of I can't fulfill your prompt. So there it goes. All right. So yeah, now I have a better example of what it's trained to do. So when I gave it a detail such as winter, it noted that it wanted to help me out with a little bit more information to describe this. So these are all chosen by whatever AI thinks is appropriate, but apparently no people, no animals, no tracks, no vehicles, no signs of modern life, which is actually interesting. I was expecting it might give me some prompts of like sunshine, green grass, things like that. But it's like anything, it's AI is going to AI, right? All right. So once basically it is converted and given it, that all goes through a little bit of a complicated pipeline here, but not really too super complex. At the end of the day, I think I'll show you this. Yeah. At the end of the day, I'm taking a combination of the text that is coming in, and then I'm passing that into the flow. One of the things I will say I have done here, I normally have like global prompts that I think are really kind of generally good. I've disabled that because at this point I wanted it to be only, not necessarily my experience, but what AI thinks is good. I also have a style library for doing different photo effects. These are also pretty good for re-emphasizing a picture. But yeah, just in that sense, it's like even though I do have those, the intent of this case is to try to see how well AI can improve my own prompting. All right. So this is the winter version. Definitely, this got a pretty good variety here. I will say I probably want to see what this looks like real. But overall, I think it's good results. Definitely better than what I was having before. So I think what might be interesting to now is maybe give a little bit more help. And I will say, I don't know if anybody's going to join this live broadcast. Probably not, because I don't have a huge following right now. But I would be more than willing in some of these exercises have fun and give maybe some audience suggestions on what we might test. It's kind of fun sometimes to see what it comes up with. I'm definitely curious to see how well it tries to take my hint that I want to see a deer in front of the cabin. So far, I'm not seeing it pop up, but I am seeing the moon. It's catching that. Let's see what it did here. All right. So just because I'm all still respectable pictures, but none of them have the deer. How about I use a little bit of just basic stable diffusion reinforcement. One thing also nice is I will say is when I have past kind of translations of emphasis in my prompt, it also takes those and tends to magnify them. So there's a good chance that by me reinforcing it, having a little bit of stable diffusion knowledge, reinforcing it, that it may help me out and get that deer in front of the cabin. I do notice that it did put the majestic deer stands gracefully in front. It added that closer to the front of the prompt. That's one of the techniques I know that can help it be more emphasized, and yet still not seeing a deer. Alright, so what I'm going to have to do to actually make it see it. How about I just try to give it a narrative? Maybe cheating a little bit here because at this point I'm actually telling it that I want a scene of that, whereas before I was being a little bit more generalist. But at the same time, a lot less words are being used to instruct it right now than previously. Now, if this does not produce a deer, I'm going to be upset, and it does not look like it's producing a deer. Oh dear. Oh, no, we got a deer. We have a deer. Definitely not as emphasized as I would like, but I do have deer in 2 out of 3. For some reason, the text-to-speech did not catch that reference and did not want to do it. I have numerous tricks I can do to get the deer in the photograph, but I think in general principle with this, hopefully, I don't know, maybe spark some imagination. It's been fun to kind of build this agent, kind of put it out there, and again, just check the information in the description here. I've kind of put the link to the GitHub. There's also a link in there to my Discord channel. Feel free to reach out. Definitely love to collaborate, and